everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new day. It is Saturday morning and we're having steak and eggs for breakfast with a hash brown patty, so stay tuned for today. Alright everyone, so it's afternoon now and I've been in the kitchen just cleaning up. When I made that steak and eggs for breakfast this morning and I fried those Spencer steaks on the electric griddle, they were so good. It had a nice crustiness on the outside and they were just so good. And Glenn even said they even tasted better than they do on the grill. So yeah, they were delicious. The steak and eggs just went well together. But it did create quite a greasy mess here on the countertop. It I had to go and clean the whole countertop and the walls and the coffee pot with Simple Green. Yeah, so, but it was worth it. It was so good. I think what I'm going to do is look for a griddle or one of those flat top griddles you put on the stove or something. And that way I can just do it on the stove. Because I got to clean the stove anyway, but it was such a greasy mess, but it was well worth it. So lunchtime, making pizzas out of these rolls we got at the pantry on Thursday. So just cutting them in half. So that's 2 pizzas. So we'll each have 2. And these are pepperoncinis I was trying to roast for Glenn, but they didn't seem to want to turn black, and I had them in the oven for quite a long time on their own. But I really couldn't wait anymore because I got to get these pizzas done. Otherwise it'll be supper time before. Alright, so I'm going to be making spaghetti for supper. I'll cook up some ground beef with onions and mushrooms. We are hungry right now. Even after that nice breakfast, we're hungry. It's about mid-afternoon right now. I've been in the house pretty much all day. Just trying to get my kitchen clean. As in the summertime when I go outside, I tend to not do the dishes all the time. So I got to get that in order. You know, summertime, if it's nice out, you just want to be outside. So I end up, and I don't want to do them when I come in. So I figure I'll take today, stay in the house, and get it done. Straighten out the kitchen. I don't like that much pizza sauce. Some mozzarella cheese that we got at the pantry also. So I guess you can say it's a food pantry lunch. Alright, so I got my pepperoni. So now on Glenn's, he's going to have jalapenos and mushrooms besides the pepperoni. And I am going to have pineapples. These pineapples are nice and yellow. These are tidbits. I love pepperoni and pineapple on my pizza. Can't go without it. Some of the cans of pineapple you open and they're almost white. These are so yellow. They taste so good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the oven. Alright everyone, so here are the mini pizzas on our rolls, and the cheese melted so nice. So we're going to eat lunch. I'm going to go outside and eat with Glenn, and then I'll be coming back in to make dessert for tonight before I get started on supper. Okay, so it is time to make dessert. So we started to eat our lunch, those mini pizzas, and halfway through, we both decided we weren't as hungry as we thought we were. So neither one of us finished both of our pizzas. So we are going to not make the spaghetti tonight, and we'll just finish up our pizzas, our mini pizzas tonight. So yeah, we're just not that hungry. I thought I was hungry, and I guess I wasn't. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. No spaghetti tonight, but we'll just eat what we already made for lunch. But I am gonna make dessert, and I have made this 2 times in the past. These are peanut butter bars with chocolate frosting on them. And the 2 times that I made them, I did the entire ingredients as they came, and it made one full cookie sheet worth of peanut butter bars. And I'm talking the typical size cookie sheet, like the 16 by 10 or whatever it is. And that is just way too much for 2 of us. And I have frozen some before, but it's still just way too much. So I'm going to cut the ingredients in half, and yes, you guessed it, I'm going to use the 8 by 8 pan just for 2 of us. And that's still going to be plenty for us, and then some. So I guarantee I'll still end up freezing some. All right, so the first set of ingredients we're going to mix together. You're not going to need a hand mixer. You just, I better get a spoon out then. All right, I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to tell you the amount of ingredients I'm using for an 8 by 8. Double that for a full size cookie sheet worth. Okay, so I'm using 1 stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter, and then I'm going to use a half a cup of granulated sugar. Right, just half a cup of granulated sugar, and half a cup of brown sugar, 1 egg, and these peanut butter bars are delicious. I love these. And a half of teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to mix all of this together. You could use a hand mixer if you want to. I don't think I ever did. All right, so I got this stuff mixed, and one thing, you want to preheat your oven to 350. You are going to end up putting this in for about 15 minutes. All right, so now we're going to go on to the next ingredients, which is 1 cup of peanut butter, and I'm using my open ones here. Okay, so I kind of guesstimated a cup of peanut butter there, and now we're going to add in 2 cups, or no, 1 cup of oats. Oh shoot. You know what, I messed this up. I was only supposed to do half of the ingredients. So instead of 1 cup of peanut butter, it only should have been half a cup. I don't know how that would turn out if I left it in there, if it would be too much. I'm just going to take a little bit out. Yeah. Oops, on my part. Well, none of this touched the dough, so I'll be using peanut butter a little later on too, so don't put it away yet. I'm acting like you're making it. Don't put it away yet. Okay, so 1 cup of oats. Because it's calling for 2, so I only want to put 1. And then 1 cup of flour. So tell me, I just wanted to ask everybody, I have a question for you. Who does Christmas in July? Drop it down in the comments if you do Christmas in July. And if you do, what does that entail? Is it just watching Christmas movies, or do you actually decorate and celebrate? Or I've never done Christmas in July, but Christmas movies are all over the streaming channels. So if you really want to watch Christmas movies right now, there's an abundance of them out there. So yeah, drop it down in the comments. Do you do Christmas in July, and what do you do? So what does that mean to you? What is Christmas in July anyway? So yeah, let me know. I did a free trial to Friendly TV, and that's a good streaming source, and it's very cheap. $6.99 I think, or $5.99, $6.99, and there's a lot of good channels. There's like 2 or 3 Hallmark channels, LMN, Lifetime, History, A&E, all kinds of channels, the Western channels, Great American Country. So I'm on a free trial right now, which ends tomorrow. But Hallmark is playing Christmas movies nonstop. So if you're into Christmas in July and you want to do a free trial, just make sure you cancel before that 7th day. Otherwise, they'll automatically charge you. So yeah, I don't know what Christmas in July really means. But anyway, I need a cup of flour. So all right, so I also need a half a teaspoon of salt. Oops. Okay, so remember, if you want to do a full cookie sheet of these bars, use double the amount. And a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Right, we're going to go ahead and mix this together. Okay, so I've got it all mixed together. And what I did in the last 2 times I made it is I sprayed my cookie sheet and then poured this onto the cookie sheet. What I would like to do, because I'm going to be using my 8x8, and it always makes it hard to scoop those pieces out of there when it's tight like this, because you're not going to fill it to the edges. So what I think I'm going to do is try it with some parchment paper. That way, when it's done and ready to be cut, I can just lift it out. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've got my parchment paper in here, and now I'm going to pour the dough in there. And remember, when you put the parchment paper in, you want to leave enough so you can lift it up. All right. Okay, so I've got my dough, and now I'm going to spread it out, but I don't want to go all the way to the walls, because when it bakes, it's actually going to spread out even more. So I just kind of want it. And I'm wondering if I'm leaving this too thick. All right, so a change of plans. I just thought this was too thick for the 8x8, so I went with my smaller cookie sheet, and the parchment paper that I had in the 8x8 fits perfectly here, so I didn't have to use any more parchment paper. And yeah, so I'm glad I used the parchment paper, because that allowed me just to pick it up out here and off of the 8x8 and put it in here. So now I'm just going to spread this out. And again, you don't want to go to the edges. I think this is going to leave it at a nicer thickness, not too thick. It doesn't have to be perfectly square. Alright, so this looks like it's pretty good. You can see it's this much to the edges, and when it bakes it's going to spread out. So that's good. This is the smaller cookie sheet that I have. I thought it would work better in the 8x8, but apparently not. Too thick for the 8x8. I'm just going to smooth this out. And we're going to put it in the oven for about 15 minutes. And when you bring it out, you want to have your peanut butter ready, because you're going to have to dabble some peanut butter all over it right away while it's hot. Okay, so let me get this in the oven. Alright everyone, so this has been in for 15 minutes and I can see the browning on the edges. It smells delicious. So while it's still hot, what you want to do is start grabbing spoonfuls of butter and just start putting, oops. Yeah, don't go too deep. Don't try to drag them off. And you're just going to do that all over. Okay, so now you just want to let this sit for a couple minutes, like maybe like 2 minutes, and then we're going to come back and spread the butter or the peanut butter. All right, so the butter is kind of melting here, so now we're just going to spread it all over without picking up any of the bar pieces. You can see how the peanut butter is just melting. Alright, so all the peanut butter is spread out. And now we're just going to put this to the side and let it set. And when it's cold enough, we're going to make our chocolate frosting and spread that over it. And then okay, so let's make this chocolate frosting. And it's the chocolate frosting I make for my cakes and stuff. So it's the only chocolate frosting recipe I use now. Again, I'm going to use half of the ingredients. And hopefully it covers the whole bar. Alright, so I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of butter, which I already have in there, so a half a stick. Make sure it's soft. And then 1/8 of a cup of milk. And 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm using a half a cup of measuring cup, so I'll put 3 in there. Again, if you're making the larger cookie sheet, then you want to double this recipe as well for the frosting to cover it. And half a teaspoon of vanilla. And 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Alright, we're just going to mix this together. You can either use a hand mixer or do it by hand. Right now, I just got caught up with all my dishes, so I don't want to dirty any more than I have to. Okay, so here is our frosting, and let's hope it covers the peanut butter bar, so I don't want to have to make any more. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cut into this peanut butter bar and see how it tastes. I'll start over here. I'm so glad I used the parchment paper. Gotta eat that. Alright, let's see what it looks like inside. So there it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our taste test here. Yep, that's good. I'll just keep on eating it. So, all right, so there it is. Chocolate covered peanut butter bars. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch it. I truly appreciate all the support. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.